So here's what you must be prepared for: opportunity and competition. Here's what America now has a chance to play: the world game, right? The world game of economics. Making a contribution and getting out there and competing with our technology and our muscle and our brains and our intelligence and everything else we've got. We bring all of that to bear into the 21st century. And America's got a good chance to win a unique share of the world market with our ability to not only learn languages, not only learn skills and be ready for all of that, but to learn to compete fairly, but to compete. Get up early, stay up late, come up with a new idea, go, go, go. That is my view of the 21st century. It's an exciting time to be alive. I think this is the best time ever in the 6,000-year history of mankind. Best time ever to be alive. You can do so many unique things now with your life. Okay. So make this note. With ideas, you can affect the lives, directly and indirectly, of thousands, tens of thousands, and maybe for some of you, millions of people. Directly and indirectly, you can affect the lives of dozens of people, hundreds of people, some of you thousands of people, because the ideas you share won't be lost. They'll be invested in someone else who will pass them on, who will pass them on. Because, you know, some have come my way and gone on to do much bigger things than I've done. Tony Robbins sat in my seminar when he was 17. 17, he was on the outs with his parents and he was sleeping in his car. And someone got him to come to my seminar, age 17. So you never know who's in the audience. And he worked for me for 3.5 years promoting my seminars, back then called Adventures in Achievement. 3.5 years. Finally ran one of my offices at age 20 in Los Angeles. Tony Robbins. Now he's a big-time superstar, bigger superstar than I am around the world. Unbelievable. And he mastered all the stuff. You know, I didn't teach him to firewalk and all that stuff, but that's Tony style. You know, he can get by with that. I couldn't do that. I did say to him one time, Tony, you got to do water instead of fire. They'll come from all over the world. And knowing Tony, guess what? He'll probably try it. Kid's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. But around the world, now he's a bigger superstar than I am, you know, multiplied by who knows how many times. But see, that's very exciting for me. Here's what it does, and you might make this note, because you can do it with your children, and you know, we can do it physically through our children, grandchildren, and on down the line. A chance for immortality. Another chance for immortality. When your ideas live on, your influence lives on in someone else, and then the next generation and the next generation. It's also possible for the evil to pass generation after generation. The old prophet said what? Sometimes the sins of the father have been visited on the second and the third and the fourth generation. It takes the fourth generation to finally get rid of some things that were started back in the first generation. But also the positive influence can be visited on the second, third, fourth generation, no telling how far. You know, I've written so far, about 5 books. I have a vision someday, 100 years from now, when I'm gone, somebody's up in an attic going through a box of old dusty books. And there's one of my books, Seasons of Life. They blow off the dust, say, wow, this is an interesting book. And it affects their life, and then maybe they use it as a textbook to teach other people 100 years from now, after I'm long gone. And do you know what this gives me? A chance for a little more immortality, to live on, right, in some unique manner long after I'm gone. This is why teaching is so incredible. And this is why the greatest art in the world, the art of parenting, is so important, so that your influence can live on. Not just in your children, but the people that your children influence. And not just their children, not just your children and your grandchildren, but the people they influence. Right? The people your sons and your daughters influence, the people your grandchildren influence, so that the ideas that you stuck with and that you taught and that you carefully made sure they were nurtured in the minds and hearts and souls of your children, they go on and on and on. How long-ranging is the impact of an idea? And the answer is infinitely. It can go as far as you can imagine. ideas influence. So that's why I love to do seminars and have someone say, a year ago, Mr. Rohn, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I'm doing my best to improve and get better. I don't want the day to come when someone says, you should have heard Jim Rohn 10 years ago when he was really terrific. I don't want that to happen. I want someone to say, hey, I heard him 10 years ago, but you should hear him now, right? Taking off some of the sharp edges. He's, gotten a little better, reaching in the heart and soul. Here's what I hope you'll find here. Number one, sincerity. Above all else, sincerity. Because powerful things can happen when both the listener and the speaker are sincere. And I know you're sincere in being here, or you wouldn't have shelled out this kind of cash. So the pay gives some indication you're sincere. But here's more important than the pay, your time. It's one thing to ask you for your money, and it wasn't that much money, but here was the big request to spend a couple of days. See, that's big time. Money's now small time because everybody's doing well, but here's what's big time, and that's time. So make the note, time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. When you spend a day, you've got one less day to spend. To ask me to come and spend 2 days at this time in my life, see, that's big time. Big time. Thank you.
And it's necessary for you to challenge yourself to go after it and get better and leverage relationships that can help you get to where you want to go. But it's you. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution is you. If the economy is good, fantastic. If the banks are loaning money, that's great. If people are positive, that's great. You don't have any opposition, that's great. But the major key to your making things happen in your life is you. When I wanted to get on public television, they told me, you can't do that. So wait a minute, I've seen these other people on. It's possible I can get on. Leo Biscaya, John Bradshaw. It's possible. Excuse me, hold on, time out. Let's be realistic. Come on, be logical. I said, well, wait a minute, why can't I do it? Well, let's look here. Think about guys who have credentials, all kind of credentials. You don't have any college training. They're not going to put you on television. Give me a break. I said, thank you for that. God love you, and I'm trying. And went on about my business, you hear me? Let me tell you something. What people think about you and the possibilities for your dream is none of your business. That's their business. They have no imagination, ladies and gentlemen. They're living out of the past, out of their memory. Their attitude is it can't be done because they haven't seen it. They're judging according to appearances. The people that are going to make it in the future, the people that are making it today, let me share something with you. History is being read, but it's also being written by people with imagination.
Hey, I want to talk to you today about success. Success, duty, obligation, responsibility. If you approach it any other way, which most people are, most people think, well, I'll be successful if the economy works. I'll be successful if something happens. I'll be successful if I win the lottery ticket. Look, you're not going to be successful if you don't demand it. If you literally don't stake a claim to it and say, this is mine, it's important, you're not going to have it, I promise you. I know, I'm telling you from experience. I spent the first 25 years of my life like a spectator, watching other people get successful and then wondering why I wasn't. Success is your duty. It is your responsibility. Your obligation and your responsibility. It's important.
You ever think about what you think about? Because if you did, and if you took control of that, you could alter the direction of your entire life. Most people never take the time to take an inventory about their thoughts. Yet our thoughts control our world. Our thoughts are like magnets. They literally draw towards us that which we obsess about. And so most people never take the time to analyze what they think about. The most successful people I know are the most self-aware, meaning they're aware of what they do and they're also aware of what they think. They're aware of how they're perceived. Average person, you and I have about 75,000 thoughts a day rattling around in this thing we call our brains and our minds. 75,000 of them. The crazy thing is 91% of those thoughts are identical to the previous day and are identical to the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. And then we wonder why our life seems to repeat itself over and over again. So really the difference in our life, if we have 75,000 thoughts a day, here's the crazy thing, 91% of them are exactly the same. The separation in our life is in those 9% of their thoughts, because remember this, these magnets are pretty powerful. That's why I'm always saying that your obsessions become your possessions, because they do. You draw into your life exactly what it is you think about. It's a physical reality that you attract to yourself what you think about. So the difference in our life is 9% of our thoughts. That's why people say all the time, the difference between winning and losing is so small, it's almost too scary to talk about. And really, we've identified what it is. It's 9% of what we think about alters the direction of our life. So what I'm here to tell you today is you've got to hone in and get aware of what you think about and then alter those 9% of the thoughts that are variable on a daily basis to serve you.
Let's say you have a goal that you want to achieve, but you have a lot of self-doubt or uncertainty. You haven't done it yet, or you've tried and you failed. Your sense of self is going to have some trepidation associated with it. It's like, can I do this? Can I do this? Do I deserve this? Don't I deserve it? Am I smart enough? Am I good enough? And so what you have to do is you have to take that goal, that's a conscious goal, and you have to impress the image, the vision of you achieving that goal into your subconscious mind. Why? Because the parietal lobe is part of your subconscious sense of self, and you've developed your sense of self over the last 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, depending on how young you are. And so when you take that image of achieving that goal, and for 1 or 2 minutes a day, just 1 or 2 minutes a day, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine, see yourself achieving that goal, overcoming whatever hurdles have ever been in your way or are in your way right now, and see yourself achieving the goal. Use your visualization muscle. Your occipital lobe, okay, is one of the biggest regions of your brain that you use all day long to see things. So when you use this just little technique of visualization, just see yourself and feel yourself achieving that goal, you start to override the existing self-image and identity that's there. 1 to 2 minutes a day is all you need to see yourself doing that. The people who took their goals out of their head, wrote them down with one little piece, which I'll share with you in just a moment, were 50% more likely to achieve their goals than the people that did not achieve their goals. 50% more likely to achieve their goals than people who didn't write their goals down. And so invest a little bit of time writing your goals down, but more importantly, why not look at them every day? Just to cognitively prime your brain on what it is that you want, right? So when you have your goals and you look at them every day, you're actually not just reinforcing, yes, this is what I want, giving your brain an instruction to focus on everything in your physical world and even in your imagination that can help you achieve it, but you're priming your brain to move from conscious to subconscious by the simple act of reviewing it every day.